This morning, new revelations about what led up to the 9/11 attacks. This after the FBI released a newly declassified document about the 9/11 hijackers 20 years after the attack on our nation. It's the first highly classified file to be publicly shared since President Biden's executive order last week to declassify materials that have long remained secret. NBC News White House correspondent Mike Memoli joins us now with the latest. So, Mike, let's start with that. What is the significance behind the release of this document, and does it tell us anything at all about whether there were any links between the Saudi government and the September 11th attacks?
Well, Joe, the particular document that was released late in the day on Saturday, tied to the 20th anniversary of 9/11, is the summary of an FBI interview with a former Saudi consulate official in the U.S. who had regular contact with two of the hijackers involved in the 9/11 attack. Now, depending on your perspective, this interview, because it's so highly classified, highly redacted, to the families, it shows that there was direct government contact between some of the hijackers, which proves their view that the Saudi government was involved. The Saudi government, of course, pushing back, saying there's no direct links to any senior Saudi government officials. The man described his contact with these hijackers as accidental. So clearly, there's a lot of discussion still to be had here. But this is the first of 4 categories of documents that the president has ordered declassified and released. The next 3 will be released in 60-day increments from here on forward, Joe.
All right, Mike, I want to turn to one of President Biden's biggest agenda items, infrastructure. We've already been talking about it this morning. The Senate's back in session today, and one of the Democrats' key votes in the Senate does not seem to be on board with his party's plan to pass this multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure package. Let's take a listen.
Chuck Schumer says he's moving, quote, full speed ahead with this package. Will he have your vote?
And that's fine. He can. He will not have my vote on 3.5, and Chuck knows that. And we've talked about this. I'm just saying that we should be looking at everything, and we're not. And that we don't have the need to rush into this and get it done within 1 week because there's some deadline we're meeting, or someone's going to fall through the cracks.
You see, Senator Manchin made the morning show tours on Sunday. What's been the reaction to his stance?
Well, the White House knows very well the role Senator Manchin is going to be playing in these negotiations right up till the last minute. You'll remember that when the president's $1.9 trillion COVID rescue bill passed, it was held up while the vote was ongoing. They kept it open for hours because of Manchin's holding out for some final provisions in that deal. And so the best way to summarize the White House's approach to Manchin now is what the president himself said last week. He says he knows that Manchin has always been there with him in the end, and he looks forward to talking to them. But this is going to be a long negotiation. And I think most significant to the White House was Manchin suggesting on Meet the Press yesterday that he speaks for several Democratic senators. He's not a man alone on this.
Mike, let's talk about something else that we heard on Meet the Press. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson talking about how the president's vaccine mandate, he says, is dividing some Americans. Now, Governor Hutchinson might be one of the more mild-mannered critics in the Republican Party of the president. But how is the White House responding to this criticism out there from governors?
Well, we saw the White House pretty clearly last week saying that they welcome these challenges, legal challenges and otherwise, that Republican governors are threatening in the wake of the president's new executive actions here. Their approach here is that they're doing everything they can that's not only in the public's interest because of the COVID and the Delta variant spread, but it's also politically on the right side of the issue as well, because the overwhelming majority of Americans have been vaccinated, support some form of government mandates. And so they view these Republican governors really as outliers, but also significantly as severe impediments to doing the right thing here to try to get this pandemic behind us.
I mean, Mike, so many issues right now on the president's plate. We're starting a new week. What does it appear is going to be the focus for the president this week moving forward? What does he really want to focus on?
The president today is on his way out west. He has obviously a significant number of stops, including politics, but also disaster relief. We saw the president last week visiting New York and New Jersey in the wake of Hurricane Ida. Today, he's heading out to Idaho and later to Sacramento to focus on the impact of the wildfires that have been really ravaging the West. Then it's politics. He's going to be helping out Governor Gavin Newsom on the day before that big recall election. And then on Tuesday, he'll be in Denver. It's an important event as the president tries to get back on the offensive in pitching his Build Back Better, that infrastructure plan we were just discussing, Joe.
A lot on his plate. All right, Mike Memoli. Mike, thanks so much as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.